Hello and welcome to this brief overview of the marketing and personalization features of Kentico. Kentico is in fact an all-in-one CMS, e-commerce and online marketing platform, but for the purposes of this session we're going to focus on the marketing and personalization features. So built into Kentico there are personalization rules. You can run campaigns, manage all of your contacts, carry out email marketing. There's marketing automation workflow facilities. You can carry out your A/B and multivariate testing, create and manage personas, do conversion scoring, and even integrate it to existing systems such as your CRM system. So let's go ahead and take a look at the marketing and personalization features now. Okay, to begin this overview we're going to start with a fictitious website. Now don't read too much into the design or front end here because I want to focus more on the background facilities, but what we have here is a fairly standard website. It's focused on coffee. It has a target market of business users, that is cafe owners, and also individual consumers, people who love coffee. So there's a home page, there's an e-commerce store, there's news articles about us and all the standard things that you'd find on a website. So let's jump into the background and look at the administration capabilities, particularly marketing and personalization. So the first thing you'll notice here is there's a very easy to use dashboard, and this is very useful because straight away I can get to the content management things that I may need to be doing in terms of pages, forms, media library and so forth, but I can also quickly get to my marketing capabilities as well. If I want to go anywhere else in the system I can navigate very quickly and go to the content management facilities here, or indeed the online marketing facilities. So let's begin by taking a look at some of the content management facilities. Okay, so a standard part of the content management in Kentico allows me to personalize content on each page, and here you can see on the home page there are 3 different banners that are available for me to use. So to manage these variants I can dictate the rules that decide what content is displayed in what circumstance. So here I've got one scenario where I expose a particular piece of content to a B2B user and here to a B2C user. So let's open up this particular one and then have a look at the rules editor. So this is a really powerful part of the personalization story within Kentico. So I can decide what rules dictate certain content is displayed. So maybe the visitor has arrived on the website for the first time. So I'm going to double click on that, and that's going to embed that as one of the rules that's available within the condition that I create. It may well be that the visitor has arrived at the site searching on a particular keyword, and that's very useful because I can now create content immediately applicable and in context to their need rather than sending them to a generic home page if they search for a particular keyword. So these are very simple but powerful examples of personalizing the experience on the website. Now there are many more rules that you can embed depending on the circumstance. So for instance it may relate to geography, so you may want certain content exposed if someone's from a particular geography. Equally it may be focused on something that's time specific, so if it's happening on a specific date or in a certain period you can define that as part of the rules. It may be that the contact that you're exposing this content to is a particular persona and you want to make it relevant to that idealized customer type. Maybe it's more e-commerce focused and so they've perhaps got certain products in their wish list, or they've made a purchase in the last so many days. Maybe it's relating to a particular campaign and they've clicked on a certain link in an email. Whatever it is, you can simply double click, add this to the rule and then fine-tune it in here. So it's very much like the Outlook rules editor, very simple point and click facility to drive personalization through content. Another dimension to personalization is personas, and you can track and manage all of your personas directly in Kentico. So here's an example of a persona. You can attach an image and put some text around it. You can also define the rules that dictate when someone falls into that particular persona, which could be based on perhaps certain visits around different parts of the site and scores associated with that. And all of that again is driven by the rules editor that we were looking at just a short while ago. Beyond that, you've got scoring. So scoring enables you to attach specific scores associated with interactions on the site. And this is very useful for understanding the level of engagement that you're having with visitors to the site. So for instance, if someone's just visited a certain section, that might achieve a score of 5, but if they actually complete a form and submit that, that's a score of 15. That's a higher level of engagement. And that level of engagement, those scores, are showing you which content is converting the best, but also it builds up a profile on the contact record in the contact management part of the system. So the contact management side of Kentico builds up a picture not only of your anonymous visitors, but obviously your identified visitors. So here we've got, for instance, a particular contact, and this is a lady called Monica King. We can build up profile information and indeed add more custom profile information about that individual, including perhaps the persona they fall into. If you want to integrate data from your existing systems, perhaps profile data from your CRM system, you can do that as well. You can also link them to certain organizations so that you get a business-to-business perspective related to that if you need to. Beyond that, you can see all of the activities that individual has had, where they visited, how long they spent on different parts of the site. You can identify which segments or contact groups you've placed them into, so they may be on a certain newsletter subscription. You can also look at what scoring they've achieved based on their various interactions around the site, and you can see here that they're reaching a score of 40 because that's the total sum of the different activities that they've carried out on the site so far. So you can build up a comprehensive picture of individual contacts and indeed integrate that with other systems if you need to. Beyond contact management, you then have contact groups, where you can define certain individuals based on criteria, again from the rules editor. So all Chicago contacts with email, or contacts with email, or perhaps people who've purchased a product in the last 90 days, that sort of thing. So these are all examples of using contact management and contact groups. Okay, let's now take a look at email marketing, and if we open up a particular email that we have already created, I'll just spend a little bit of time explaining a few things here. So you'll see here we have a full HTML editor, which is very useful, very easy to use, so you can build up a whole series of emails and reuse them as necessary. With each one you can do spell check, send draft, preview, and obviously create attachments. When it comes to the email send, as we saw earlier, you can define the group, the contact group that you want to send this to. You can either send it immediately or indeed schedule it for a later date. You can also track the performance of that particular email through the reporting. So here you can see the delivery performance, engagement performance, so bounces, unique opens, unsubscribes, and indeed which which links created the most clicks. So very useful built-in email marketing facility out of the box as standard. Okay, moving on to campaigns. Within this area you can define a number of different things. So typically you would be doing an email campaign, or perhaps a banner campaign of some sort. So within this you can define the name of the campaign. You can also have UTM codes for tracking, and that feeds into your analysis to tell you which campaign a particular inquiry or lead has come from, or indeed which source it has come from if it's specific to a particular email. So typically you're setting up emails and also landing pages, and you can track the performance of all of that throughout the whole process, and then run reports that give you the feedback that you want from that. In terms of social networks, you can manage all of your posts out to social media such as LinkedIn or Twitter or Facebook. You can also manage all of your events. So if you run a regular series of seminars and so forth, it gives you the facility to have a nice calendar and then track all of the events and capacity that people are booking onto. In terms of general testing, you can test all of your campaigns, your emails, your content, and you can be very specific about the visitors that you're targeting based on the rules that we saw earlier. You can define the variants to both the original and then a separate variant there, and then track the conversion value or the conversion rate or average conversion value or conversion count associated with those tests, and you can define the period that they run for as well in order to give you some statistical significance. Finally, to bring all of these capabilities together, you can use the marketing automation built into Kentico. So here you're able to orchestrate particular activities for visitors to the site. So for instance, I can simply create any kind of workflow, and I just drag items onto the canvas here. So it might be a condition or a multi-choice scenario. There might be a weight condition if I'm doing some nurture campaigns. I can drop in a newsletter subscription, I can send a campaign email, or just send a very specific email which might be to someone internally or indeed back to that contact, or indeed I can update certain profile information about that particular contact. So there's a great deal you can achieve using this really simple drag and drop canvas. And here we've got a simple example where if someone visits from a certain geography and they fall into a certain persona, or they visited a certain page, they then fulfill another condition, that might drop some information directly into Salesforce, particularly if they've identified themselves. So here you've got an example of CRM integration, where perhaps if they've completed a form, it drops into a lead record in the CRM system, which can then trigger further actions to the salespeople, or you might want to start a newsletter subscription. Equally, you may want to start a nurture campaign where there's a wait period, and then you send an email, and then a wait period, and on you go. So there's a whole series of different things you can do using the marketing automation, but it's a very powerful part of the system you can use centrally to orchestrate a great deal of activity across the website and indeed your internal processes. And finally, in terms of analytics, it has a built-in analytics facility which allows you to see all sorts of different key information, and indeed you can also get a marketing overview sort of dashboard which will tell you whatever key information you need to see as appropriate to your role. So hopefully that's given you a good insight into some of the core facilities across personalization and marketing within Kentico. Okay, so let's bring this to a conclusion. We've been looking at the marketing and personalization features inside Kentico. We were looking at the personalization rules, the ability to set up and manage campaigns, contact management and email marketing. We had a look at the marketing automation and workflow facilities, the ability to carry out and manage your testing, create and manage personas, your conversion scoring, and also the ability to integrate to multiple different CRM systems. A little bit about ourselves, Profound. We are a digital agency, so we design, build and manage websites, e-commerce sites and mobile apps. We're also a system integrator. We're a Microsoft Gold partner, so typically we're linking websites to back office functions or into CRM systems. We're also a .NET development house, so we build custom applications depending on clients' needs. Hopefully this has been a useful insight into Kentico, and if you want to get in touch, and by all means do, using the details here or through our website. Thank you.